What is good, guys? What is good? Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day to y'all. Today we're gonna continue with back testing, and we're gonna go ahead and answer some questions that people may have. The first question was when it comes to the arrows, right? They were a little confused on what they're supposed to do next as soon as they see this arrow. So we're gonna go ahead and cover that for you guys real quick. There are some things that I see in the chat popping up. Zoom user, don't know your name. Make sure you remind me that before, after we're done with this. But the first question that we had was the arrow. So let's just go ahead and continue. So who asked that? Bryce. Bryce, would you like sell examples or a buy example?
Can I get both?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's
Dope.
do it. All right. So for the first one, we'll go ahead and cover the sell example. All right, cool. So again, Bryce, this goes hand in hand with market structure, right? So if you don't know market structure just yet, you're going to have to tap into that for sure. But when the market is making lower lows and lower highs and the market is heading down, this is called a downtrend, right? So when the market is in a downtrend, you want to try to catch these continuation sells. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right? We're able to see that the market is in a downtrend. This is a good thing. That's letting us know the market is flowing to the downside, right? So for me, I'm not really trying to catch any long-term buys. I would try to catch long-term sells, right? In these areas here specifically, I would like to go ahead and continue to catch that downward trend. I don't know how to change my name. My bad. No, you're good. You're good. It's probably in your setting, but you're good. So as long as this makes sense as of right now, guys, this is gonna help you when you see these arrows, right? Same goes for the uptrend, right? When the market is going higher, making higher highs, let me pull up my thing. When the market is going higher, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. This is a good thing, right? The market is going higher. The market is in an uptrend. So if the market is going higher and in an uptrend, guys, what should we be looking for? I want you guys to unmute, right? There are 27 of you guys. A lot of you guys have been plugging in, and you guys should know this. It's time to start feeling comfortable.
Buys.
Buys. We should start looking for some buys, right? So it's good to know that, especially when you see the arrows on levels. It's going to help you guys. And I love levels for that reason, right? They are training wheels on levels that you can use in order to help yourself catch these opportunities, right? But I teach you to see this stuff with the naked eye, and so does Oren if you guys plug in, right? It'll take some time, but it will happen. Okay. Now, when the market is in a downtrend, right? This is a good thing. We just have to wait for structure to form, right? So let's go ahead and continue. Market's in a downtrend right now. We need for the market to pull back and make a lower high. So as the market's doing its thing, let's go ahead and make this structure. Let's make this green. Not the green I wanted. Cool. Market's going higher. Awesome. Now, the thing is, we need to focus on the last buying candle before the breakout of this lower low. Does that make sense, Bryce? We need to find the last buying candle before the market breaks and closes below this. We need to find the last buying candle that breaks and closes below this low, right? So let's go ahead. I like to put a line here, especially when you guys see lines all over my chart. I don't put many, but when you do, I'm just waiting for a breakout, right? This helps me remind myself that I'm waiting for something specific to happen, right? So let's go ahead and continue. Right, cool. Let's go ahead. Market is starting to head down now, which is a good thing. So let's go ahead. Market's starting to head down. Market's starting to head down. Awesome. We haven't gotten that break and close below yet. So we're still waiting. Right now, let's just market pulls back. Pulls back, and then all of a sudden we get something that looks like this. Boom. Right. Bryce, did we get the break and close below this black line?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So once we identify that, right? Once we identify that, we need to follow that rally back up to the last buying candle that gave us this BOS. The last buying candle that gave us this break of structure. So would this be the last buying candle that broke structure, Bryce?
Yes. No. Yes.
Sound more
Right.
confident. Yes or
Yeah.
no? Yes or no?
I'll say no just because for learning purposes,
Mhm.
honestly.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah.
So you're right. This is not the last buying candle that
Oh,
broke
there.
structure to
Just
to
like
the
this is
downside.
all.
So notice how when the market starts to head down, we get a pullback right here. We get a
Mhm.
one candle pullback. You see that last buying candle? This last buying candle here gave us the break of structure on the
Ah, okay.
downside, right? And when when we get that, right? When we get that, guys, levels is actually going to put a red or blue arrow depending on the breakout. So if the market's breaking down to the downside,
I
it's gonna
remember seeing it last night before I fell asleep.
all right. I'm gonna mute you guys.
Mute.
All right, appreciate y'all. Bryce, you can unmute. But when you guys see the red or blue arrow, it's giving you an arrow on the candle that broke structure, right? Does that make sense, Bryce?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So when you see that red arrow, it's most likely just broke structure to the downside, right? So when you see that, you match this red arrow to the red bears button. And when you click on that, what's going to happen is levels is going to go ahead and draw out your sell zone right on that candle.
Gotcha.
So when we see that, right? When we see that, that's our sell zone. We can go ahead and box it up, right? We can turn this off so there's not too many boxes. Now, the next thing we got to do, guys, right? The first thing we had to do was one, identify the red candle or the red arrow, check the bears so we can go ahead and pull out the starting point. Now, the third thing we have to do is find our stop loss. So once we find our starting point, guys, we have to find the highest wick in this area, right? So let's just say it's this red candle right here. That high wick, Bryce, is going to be my stop loss. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put my stop right there. Does that make sense, bro?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So that's my entry point. I have my entry point, which is the starting point, my stop loss, which is this high wick with the minimum 1 to 3 risk to award. Now, you can either enter at the first touch of the starting point, or you can enter at the 50% of the starting point. I want you to pick one and stay consistent with that. Pick one and stay consistent with that. For me personally, I like to enter as soon as the market touches. As soon as the market touches. I don't care about a little bit of drawdown, right? I'm okay with that because I've seen time and time again while I wait for these plays, right? Sometimes I'm waiting at that 50% and the market comes up to my zone, taps it, and it's gone. And I'm like, oh man, I look at my trade locker and it literally came into my zone just a bit and took off, and it missed me by a couple pips, right? So for me, I'm just going to adjust and put that right at the beginning. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a one if that makes sense. Y'all could unmute and let me know.
Makes sense, bro.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Got you. Got you.
sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I smoothed it over perfectly. Thank you, man.
Yep. Now, this is what I like to do, guys, right? Obviously, whatever pair you guys trade, it's going to have its own tendencies. So maybe the pair that you trade, you've noticed, you know what? Every time I trade this pair, bro, it smacks right at that 50% and then just takes off, right? If that happens with the pairs you guys trade, adjust to the market. Be like, you know what? Every time I'm trading something, it hits that 50%. I don't mind the drawdown, but I don't feel like I need it at the same time because the market is giving me these 50% every time, right? So take that with the grain of salt, right? I like to put it at the touch. If it does reach the 50%, do you open another position? No, I do not. If the market, so this is the question, right? Let's say you entered at the first touch. Market comes to your zone and then touches the first touch and puts you on profit. Now, let's say the market goes back into the zone and hits this 50%. Do you enter another trade? I personally do not. If I'm already in one, then I'm waiting for it to go my way. Right now, how do I know when it's starting to go my way? Who knows, guys? This is a veteran call. If anybody knows, you guys can go ahead and mark it up on my chart. even if you do have reduced risk, even if you have reduced risk, how would you have reduced your risk if the market went your way and then went higher? That's what I'm on the first entry. Okay, so let's say this is your entry, right? This is your entry. If the market comes into my zone and then goes my way, where do I move my stop loss to? Draw it on my chart so I can understand what you're talking about. Whoever drew this, you're right, but can you delete this, please? Appreciate you guys. You with me? So you with me? Right? Because I want to understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So like what I was saying, so say for example, like you want to risk like a 0.05, right? So say on
Okay.
the first touch, right, when it first comes into your zone, you have like a 0.01. And then if it moves like I'm not gonna say in profit, but just like slightly in drawdown to like the 50%, would it be okay to maybe drop like another 0.02 if you're
Okay,
expecting
so
this to be like your head?
yes. So that's a more advanced question, right? Because now you're messing with your risk to reward to help you in your favor, right? So and could be because you're way more advanced than a lot of these people who are beginning, right? So I'm gonna tell you yes, because you know what you're doing with your risk to reward. You've already reduced your risk by a lot. So you're trickling in. You're literally, if you take a loss, it's literally gonna be a couple bucks, right? Compared to
Yeah.
somebody else, they're not gonna know, right? And they're gonna probably over leverage at first or just
Right.
drop the 1%. And that's where things mentally can go unstable. But for you, I'm gonna tell you yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Guys, that's a question that was from somebody who is advanced. So if you understand what she is asking, then that is for you. And if you don't, that is not for you. Okay. I'm just gonna leave that at that. Now, back to Fernanda's question. Right. If you entered at the first touch, my stop loss is here. Right? As long as my stop loss has not been hit, the market can continue to go higher. I do not mind, but because it's going higher, I am not entering more. Does that make sense, guys? I need you guys to unmute and let me know. I have already entered here. I know where I should be entering, and I know where my stop loss should be. So I'm already in this position, right? There's nothing I can do but watch now. Okay. There's nothing I could do but watch now. Now, all I have to do is wait. The market can literally go right to my stop loss, and I'm not going to enter again, right? I'm not going to enter again. Why? Because the market hasn't gone my way. Now, how do I know when the market is going to go my way? Right? This is what I like to do. I like to mark up my BOSs. The BOSs on the way to my sell zone. Does that make sense, guys? I like to mark up the BOSs on the way to my sell zone. So this is my sell zone. We can see we're having breaker structures to the upside. I like to mark those up. Now, my change of character line should be right here. So I'm not going to enter another trade until I finally get this break and close below. Once I get this and my first trade is in profit, then I would start to look for the continuation for the next move down. And then I would enter again, right? My second position somewhere right here. And my stop loss for that would be right here. Does that make sense, Fernando? Does that make sense, everybody? Because I don't want to enter again, especially when you guys are new and you guys don't know a lot. You don't want to enter while you're in negative. You don't want to keep entering while you're in negative because a lot of you guys don't really know about risk management and the risk to reward and stuff like that. You guys mainly just take what you guys can to make money, and then you guys just run with it like kids. You know what I'm saying? Which is great. Go get your hands dirty and things like that. But I don't like to enter more trades when the market is going against me. I want to enter more trades when the market is going my way, right? So if you've noticed, right? If you've noted, the market just continues to hit that 50%, Fernanda, then you know what? You're probably going to be the trader that says, you know what? I know Vinny likes to enter right at that first touch, but for me, I'm just going to start entering right at that 50. Does that make sense, guys? That's just something you're going to have to start doing. You're going to have to mature as a trader and be like, you know what? I'm noticing this happening over and over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and start trusting what I'm seeing. And that's how we get better in the markets. Does that make sense, guys? Because what I don't want to do is the market goes my way and then goes deeper. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enter again because we got another BOS. The market puts me into profit and then says, you know what? We're out of here. We're done selling for the day. We're going to go ahead and look for buys now. So then I take one trade here, one trade here, and then one trade here. And before you know it, I just lost 3%. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know. Unmute. There are 33 of you guys. Please let me know. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
The
perfect
last
sense.
thing I want to do is just continue to throw money without the market actually giving me confirmation, right? That's what I don't want to do. So once I see the market, give me this move here off of my zone, that tells me I was right. Once the market breaks structure to the downside, that tells me I was right. Let's start looking to enter some more trades. We can continue with that bearish trend, right? Bryce, does that make sense on how we capitalize off seeing the arrows here, my boy?
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense, man. I
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Now the same thing goes with the buys. Give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and just change up these colors real quick.
One second.
All right there, guy. All right there. Who was that? Let's start kicking this guy out of the chat real quick. Yo, happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Dang. We all single, bro? That's crazy.
It's a cold world out here, man.
Life. Hey, that's life, G. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. You know we gotta crack jokes. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, the market is bullish, right? The market is in an uptrend. We are looking for some buys. Now, the thing is, right, we gotta pay attention to structure, right? We know the market is in an uptrend, market's going higher, we should be looking for buys. Now, once we're able to identify, all right, Zoom user didn't even give me a chance. You're right, though. I like that. Right? Once we can identify our break of structure to the upside, let's just go ahead and label that. Once we identify that break of structure and we can see that we have a breakout rally to the upside, that's a good thing. That's letting us know, guys, right here, this break of structure with the breakout rally is letting us know the market is ready to start heading up. Because what would happen if this happens right here, right? Yeah, let's just do this. Right? What is the market doing right here now?
Consolidation.
Consolidating, right? The market hasn't gone up or gone down. So it's not ready to do anything, right? But let's just say, you know, boom, we have this. Did the market give us the move we wanted?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the market is ready to go higher now, right? The market is ready to go higher now. So again, once we've found our breakout rally that gives us the BOS of the upside, we have to follow that rally back down to the last selling candle. So which one is my last selling candle before the break of structure, guys? You tell me.
The third one.
Yes. Let's go. Right. And levels is going to help you. When you see that blue arrow, what you're going to want to do, guys, match that blue arrow with that bulls button. And what's going to happen is levels will go ahead and draw out your buy zone for you. Oops. Boom. Levels is going to go ahead and draw out your buy zone for you. Now, again, Bryce, after we find our starting point, bro, we have to find our stop loss. That is the most important thing. Finding an entry with the starting point, with the breakout rally and everything, that's the easiest thing you can do, right? The easiest thing you can do. Why? Because levels is going to help you find it, right? The next thing we have to do is find our stop loss. So once we find our starting point, we find the lowest wick in that area. So we'll go ahead and use this. Boom. So that's our entry point, guys. We have an entry. Oops, it's turned upside down. Looking for buys, sells. We have our entry point, our stop loss, and minimum 1 to 3 risk to reward. Our stop loss is our change of direction. Okay, cool. That's a great question. So for this setup, I don't like to say that the starting point is our change of direction. I personally don't. Now, I know if you've been watching Oren, Zoom user, if you've been watching Oren, that's what he likes to do, right? Depending on the time frame, that's what he likes to do, right? Once it breaks and closes below, he'll look to continue sales, right? But for me, especially when the market is in an uptrend, there are two plays that I like to look at specifically, right? Because when I was brought up, I learned to look for inverted head and shoulders in an uptrend, right? So Zoom user, we have two entries when it comes to the levels. We have the starting point and we have the inverted head and shoulder. Now notice we have a BOS to the downside right here. Now I'll just call this a liquidity sweep. And then we ended up getting the break of structure and change of character right here, right? So now we have this as an inverted. Left shoulder, head, continuation to the upside. Do you see that, Zoom user?
Yo.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is the thing. When I see that, I want to make sure that this low is broken, right? That's my change of direction, right? And I label my stuff just like this: need change of direction for sell opportunity, right? Oh, let's make this red because I want a bearish change of character, right? Now, because I have a starting point here, this is my first entry. The market can definitely come back, give me some profit, but it can also continue back down a little bit. Come into this right shoulder area and then continue up higher. So for me, I want to see the main low get taken out, right? Higher high, oops. Higher high. This high made this low. This low made this high. So if I want to change character, I would like the market to go ahead and break and close below here so we can really have a solid setup. Do you guys see it? Zoom user, do you see it, Zoom user? And if you don't, it's okay to say no. Okay, cool. Cool. So yeah, I want this low to get taken. You don't. Okay. You don't see it.
That was a different. That was a different Zoom user.
Okay. Well, this Zoom user that said no, can you unmute for me? Reveal yourself in front of the class. I mean, I can try to explain it again, but I want to make sure like you and I are on the same page. You know what I'm saying? So, imposter. Oh, I mean, he may. I did put this link on Instagram today. Okay, cool. And he remind me, right? So guys, I want to make sure this low is taken out, right? Especially when we're in an uptrend. Inverteds are like my bread and butter. So when I see this like left shoulder, head, change of character, I know this is why I mark up both entries, guys. And you guys see me mark it up like this all the time. Right? I'll have my left shoulder and my starting point. So I know, right, there is an opportunity right here. And there's something that I have to take. Well, this is a perfect example on gold, right? Perfect example on gold. Oh, we're still upside down. So I know for sure the market can come right here and give me a possible move, right? The market can come back. The market can come back like this zone and continue up higher. There's a possibility of that. And what happens is they'll leave this for later. They'll leave this for later. They want the market to go higher so you can forget about it. And then when it's CPI or whatever, one of those big news days, the market's going to come back, pick that up, and then continue up. Right? So it's good. Anytime you see a head and shoulder without a right shoulder and you know it needs one, keep that zone there and set your alerts. Right? But knowing that, I know, and this is where risk to reward, guys, becomes so important. And I love Valentino's bootcamp because it emphasizes that. He talks about 2 entries, and when you look at his setups, it goes hand in hand with the starting point and the head and shoulder. So he knows, right? He was talking about, he knows that there's 2 entries that he's looking at, right? The starting point that's right here, and the head and shoulder that's down here, right? He knows this. So again, if he takes a loss, he already knew he was going to take it. But why? He has to take this setup because we have no say whether the market's going to respect this zone or this zone. We have to take these opportunities, because what happens if you're like, oh, well, you know, I like this zone a lot more, so I'm just going to wait for this zone. And then what happens next? The market goes our way and leaves without us, right? But again, the market can obviously give us some profit, right? Give us some profit and then continue down. Continue down. Okay, you took a loss right here. It happens. Who cares? Trust your risk to reward. Trust your risk to reward. Now, as soon as that market gives us this second entry, boom, market goes our way. You just made your money back that you lost plus some. The 2 clap rule. Yep. Does that make sense, guys? That's why I like to have these zones marked up.
Yeah, man, that's perfect. Now that you mentioned the alerts, that was another question that I had. I was watching the video and it made sense on how to set it up, but I just was kind of confused on what the function was for it.
Did I answer that though?
Say that again.
Did I answer that or no? Like
You kind of hinted at it. It was in the video. It talked about like man, I'm trying to remember.
no, but like right now when I explained it, did I answer your question or no?
Uh,
Not really.
so on as far as the arrows go and how everything works, yes. I just remember that whenever where is it at? Right next to choose your weapon, whenever you would set an alert.
Oh yeah.
I was just more so confused on that function. Everything
Got
else
you.
I'm understanding perfectly.
Okay, got you. Okay, cool. So alerts, right? Guys, if you guys didn't know, Levels has alerts. They have about 20 to 40 alerts, I hear, right? And if you guys are obviously using Levels and you guys have Levels, guys, take advantage of the alerts. You guys don't have to use anything that's right here. Levels literally is, I don't know where the chart is, but Levels is literally a clean chart you guys can use, right? There's no indicators, nothing. You guys can literally use this. as a naked chart and set alerts. How do you guys set alerts? Right here. But I also need a line. So I need the line because I need numbers right here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set alerts crossing down, right? Because the market's crossing down to my entry. Now where it says price, that's why I have this line here. So I could put 82.851. And I need to have these sounds popped up. She'll pop up, play sound, and just put NJ buy opportunity. NJ buy op. Right? And then press create. Boom. Now there's an alert right there. Right? Now there is an alert right there. Okay. So as we're waiting, right, the market is right here. When the market makes its way down and touches this line, you will be notified. You will be notified so you can get to your computer. So by the time the market touches your zone, you will be ready to go ahead and react accordingly and send the market your way. Does that make sense, Bryce?
Yeah, man. Perfect.
Heck yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Make sure you guys have that set, guys. Make sure you guys have that set. And for trading you guys, you have to that's a subscription. Like trading is a subscription, right? If you guys have levels and you're using levels, you guys already get these alerts included. So I would start using these if you guys haven't, right? There you can have the alerts go straight to your phone. If the alerts aren't going straight to your phone, make sure you guys message me in the chats. Tag me in the chats. Let me know you guys need help, and I got you. Right? But covering the starting points, the entries, and how to use the arrows, and when it comes to the change of character, does that make sense, everybody? Let me see. If it reacts from the SP and you focus more on your shoulder, you can play the second reversal setup though, right? Draw on my chart what you mean by that, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out here. Go ahead and draw on my chart on what you're explaining. I think I know what you mean, but go ahead. If it reacts from the starting point and you focus, okay. Oh yes, if I get this reaction, right? Leave that there, Juan. Leave that there. If I get all of this right here, and I get the respect that I'm looking for off the starting point, I'm going to play this, right? Because that is the very next setup in line. Now, again, let's say I use this as an opportunity, or let's just move this. Oh no, let's actually move this over. Let's say I use this as an opportunity, right? Because it's the next one in line. I'm gonna use that as the shoulder. My stop loss is right here. Now, if I take this loss, oops, I am still using my risk to reward, right? Technically, right? And this is where everything starts to get technical, guys. This trade was a win, right, Juan? This trade was a win. So that I'm already up 1-3. Can you delete that blue line, please?
I mean, what I usually do is I don't really take the starting point. I usually
Mhm.
wait for my shoulder.
Okay.
And but if it reacts from my SP, then I would check on the setup. And actually, now that I know that it's reacting from that zone, I will wait for that second head and shoulders to play.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. Now again, right? Let's say you didn't take this, right? So you're not up right now, right? Because you don't take starting points. You wait for the reaction, which is good, right? So you're not up 1-3. But look, we're still using our risk to reward. If I take a loss here, that's fine because I know at the end of the day, I'm looking for this setup anyways. Does that make sense? So I still have to trust my risk to reward on that. I still have to. With the minimum 1-3, and as a vet, you can continue with your 1-6, 1-7 if you understand how. But does that make sense, Juan?
Yes, sir.
So the same rules apply with your risk to reward and understanding you may take a loss here for the zone that we originally wanted. And this, honestly, guys, it's a hard pill to swallow and to wrap your mind around. And honestly, it just comes with a lot of reps and back testing and just the boot camps, guys, understanding these professional traders and people who are making some good money, right? That's what they're teaching. That's what they're trusting. And guys, I mean, if y'all don't know Valentino, that guy is a crazy sniper, right? And the way he breaks down the market structure and his strategy and everything that ties into it is just fire. Now, for me personally, this is just how I approach it, right? I'm not watching everybody's boot camp to add on to my level strategy. That's not what I'm doing. I'm focused on levels, market structure, right? Smart money with the liquidity and everything. And everybody's boot camp, I'm just confirming the things that I need to know with levels. Right? So take that little gem with the grain of salt. I'm not adding all kinds of stuff. I'm not adding EMAs. I'm not adding volatility or the what does he like to use? Volume and divergence. I'm not using that. For me personally, I know that may help some of y'all, but for me, I'm not using that. I'm just confirming what I know with levels, with what they're doing that's working, right? Because again, how can I make the hard simple and then teach it to you guys? You know what I'm saying? So I would check him out and just confirm what you guys know. You know what I'm saying? But Juan, if you can delete this, that would be great, bro. But are we good? Would you guys like to backtest now? Or Etney, I know you had a question. What's up?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I was just wondering how pips are like used, because like I don't really know much about it. So yeah, I was just wondering how does that like help when you're either entering, I guess?
So PIPS stands for, I think it's called points in percentage. So it's like a weird way to explain it because what a pip is like the a fraction of a number. You know how there's like, well, let's see. Let's actually go back. Right here in this area, it's 81,800. And then, oops. Up here is 81,600, right?
Yeah.
You get that? So notice how it's 81 in the beginning of both of these. 81 point, 81 point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the pips are counted after the decimal. So after the point, that's when the pips start. So notice how this is a 200 difference, 200 point difference. So that's how we end up using pips in our favor. Now I know that's kind of like weird to like explain because honestly, I don't really like. For me, I have never even asked that question or even heard that question being asked, to be honest. So I can't even like explain that 1000%. I just know that's how we calculate how we make money. I wish I could answer that
Okay.
in a bit more detail. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you do gold? I was betting on the buy and it tanked out of nowhere today. Took a hard loss on it. Can you go over what I could have confirmed sales and change my trend? Okay, cool. Just are we good, guys? We're good. We're ready to continue. We're solid.
Yeah, we're ready.
Appreciate you. So check this out. The thing is, guys, is we're so freaking like focused on. Let me see. If I refresh this page, let's just see how a market's gonna look. So we're zoomed in a little bit, right? But the thing is, guys, let me move this. It's super important, JV. It's super important, bro, that we understand different time frames and their structures, right? So when you see big structure, most likely, most of the time, this is 4-hour/daily structure, right? Now, if we know we're in an uptrend, right? If we know we're in an uptrend and we get a BOS to the upside, this lets us know that we're still bullish, right? My change of character line should be right here. My change of character line is right here. So I know that I should not be looking for sells unless the market breaks and closes below this line here. Does that make sense, JV? We're good with it. We're good with that?
Yeah.
Awesome. But the thing is, bro, we know that the market wants to come back in this area, but we get confused with the different time frame structure. Right? This may be 4-hour daily structure, but on the 1 hour, we're looking at stuff that looks like this. We're seeing a smaller trend on the 1 hour. And then we're seeing something that looks like, you know, continuations, and we're trying to continue to catch this buy. Right? That's what you're looking to do. You're trying to catch buys here and continue up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now the thing is yes, we may get continuation possibilities here on that 1 hour time frame, but at the end of the day, bro, the market will always go back to the higher time frame zones. We just don't have a say when. So, you know, in retrospect, we probably could have caught this buy, right? We probably could have caught this buy on those lower time frames, right? Because the market is continuing to give us structure. And now, since the market just broke structure to the upside again, we are looking to buy again, right? And then what happens? The market breaks and closes below, giving a massive, massive drop. And now we think the trend has changed. You did keep getting continuations? Okay, good. So you were just trying to catch another continuation, right?
Yeah, I was trying to get another.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. But the thing is we have to be aware of this structure, yes, but we also have to keep in mind of the higher time frame structure, and that's usually way down lower. So the market can possibly continue to give you these moves, right? It can possibly continue to give you these moves, but as soon as the market starts to head down, and let's say the market, boom, news hits, something hits, and the market starts to drop, do you think that bullish trend has now reversed to bearish?
Well, it has to close below the last low or something, right? The lowest low.
Correct. Now on a lower time frame, right? The 1 hour time frame in this bullish move, that would be here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But at the same time, if we zoom out and take a big look at the thing, are we bearish or are we bullish still?
You're still bullish.
Bullish, right? So on the higher time frame, it's super important, guys. That's why I emphasize this so much. You have to look at your weekly 4 hour or weekly daily 4 hour, because those zones, the market loves to come back to those higher time frame zones. I'm not saying you guys can't participate on lower time frames, but understand when we get a move like this on the lower time frame, we did not turn to bearish long term. We turned to bearish short term. Does that make sense? We possibly can catch some sells, but as soon as we get into this higher time frame zone right here, we know this is why I love having these things right here, guys. Make this thing huge. Put it in the middle. I know I'm not reversing until we actually break and close below that 4 hour daily structure or possibly daily weekly structure. Does that make sense, guys? But on the 1 hour and 15, yes, the market is bearish, but that's not long term. If you're trading 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, that's not long term. That's short term. So you have to start looking at the higher time frame and try to catch this buy instead of all these buys. Now I'm not going to say you can't catch it, because your market will give you opportunities where you can. But once we come back here, this is the move you want. Because if we can take these buys, right? Minimum 1 to 3, yes. Right? Minimum 1 to 3, yes. But if we're looking to continue the trend, right? The market is in an uptrend. When the market starts to make that U-turn and come back for you, I want to take profit right here. This is how you continue the trend, guys. I want to take out these lower high or higher highs, and that's how you get better risk to rewards, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Does that make sense, JV?
Yeah. I just
Are you,
kind of what I did is I got too cocky on the continuations, and then last night I fell asleep without setting a stop loss, and I'm in too deep now on my loss. So I'm like, I don't know, because looking at
not
it at the bigger time frame, it still is bullish.
correct.
So
Now
I'm
I don't
like,
want
shit.
to I don't want to say you got too cocky, right? Because if the market was giving you something, hey, you're gonna take those opportunities as they come. But that's exactly why we try to stay as disciplined as possible to our risk to reward, right? We I don't preach over leveraging, right? I don't know if anybody on Powerhouse does, but we do not over leverage, because if we ended up taking a loss here and we don't have good money management, then that could hurt our account, right? We have to at least, guys, minimum at the least, bro, break even. And this isn't just like for you, JB. This is for everybody, guys. If you're in profit around 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-3, and you're not breaking even, at that point, that's nothing on us or the strategy. That is on you and your money management. Can I get an amen?
Hey man, it wasn't me,
Preach.
bro. I was
Preach.
like up 1-to-3,
A-
and I'm like, no, it's gonna keep on going up.
Amen.
I'm gonna wait a little bit,
Amen.
change my stop loss,
Yeah,
and
see? So you
taking an
have,
L.
and that happens, bro. Unfortunately, in the game of trading, man, we take our losses and our lessons, we take our lessons the hard way. Every loss is a lesson, bro. And it sucks that it has to be like that, but that shit'll wake you up like that, bro. So I hope that was the last time you don't adjust. And if you're up 1-to-2, 1-to-3, 1-to-4, bro, adjust and take some type of profit. And even if you do have that thought, it's gonna go up. It's gonna, bro. When you have that thought, that's exactly when you take profit, and that's exactly when you move your stop loss. Trust me. You're talking to the guy who I like, bro. My first couple of months, count, 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 count. No Zoom user, no amen. His account's blown. I already know that. I don't even know who that is, but I already know his account's blown. It's
Hey, Vinny,
important.
I have a question.
What's up?
So, the trend on the way down to your buy, is that what you would consider the short-term trend?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what my short-term trend is.
Okay. Thank
Yes. Yep. Yep. So if we go back to gold, let's go to the 4-hour. Let's delete this because it's starting to look ugly. Right? Now look, check me out. The market is in an uptrend, right? We finally got this BOS to the upside. Let's mark that up. BOS. Awesome. Right? At the end of the day, if this is our breakout rally, our breakout rally right here, we follow that rally back down to the last selling candle, which is going to be right here. Snipe. What is drawdown? Type shit. Snipe. If I go up to the daily, notice how structure looks a bit different. This is the same break of structure, but now this is my starting point. That's still a good move, right? But let's go back. 4-hour time frame. Cool. I get you. Now, this is where we got caught, right? We know the market is in an uptrend. We actually made equal highs. So I'm expecting for the market to go higher. When? I don't know, right? But as we drop down, or even right here, right? No, let's drop down. We can make it a bit more clear. Notice this is my entry, but where's the structure? Notice how, let's replay this. We are waiting right here, right? So let's go ahead and wait. Market gives me a low here. I need for the market to break and close below that in order to give me a liquidity sweep or break a structure to the downside. So now the market is making trendline liquidity right there, which is a good sign. I like to see consolidation, right? When the market is right above my buy zone. That gives me something to go off of, because if we can get something that looks like an inverted, boom, we're gone. And I know where my next play is. We can continue higher, right? But still we have to wait for these things to happen. So let's go ahead. Notice how the market sweeps liquidity. Awesome. So let's go ahead and change that. Liquidity sweep. Liquidity has been swept. Now I would like for the market to go ahead and break and close below or close above that high. Why that one? Because this low made this high and everything inside of that is just liquidity, internal. Right? So, and if I go to a higher time frame up to the 4 hour, that's the structure, right? This low, this high, internal, right? Liquidity sweep. I'll need that change of character. So let's go back. Let's go ahead and play it out. Okay, cool. So this is the thing, right? There are two plays that we can see right, or that I can see right here. Let's go ahead and confirm this. We got the change of character. There are two plays. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's go back down to the 1 hour. So notice, excuse me. There's my starting point is right here, guys. This is my last selling candle before we got that break of structure. So that's opportunity one, right? Opportunity one. Does anybody see my second opportunity? You're circling this big candle. I can see why you're seeing that. I'm gonna say yes, that can be a second opportunity, but I'm talking about inverted, really. That Zoom user, this would not be an opportunity. No, because this last selling candle didn't make anything break structure. It actually made equal highs. This pullback right here, right? High, last selling candle, equal high, drop down. This last selling candle made new highs. So this is going to be my starting point. Now, I like this zone right here, because that matches with the 4 hour time frame. That would be my inverted, right? If I go to the 4 hour, now my inverted looks like that, but that zone is pretty big, so I'm just going to leave it with the 1 hour. So I'm just going to leave it like that, right? So I know I can possibly take a loss here because I want the market to come down a bit lower and then go higher, right? But I also know that the market can give me this move and continue higher for a little bit before this happens. Does that make sense, guys? So if this happens, if we get this move, do we forget about this right shoulder down here?
No.
No, we do not. We're saving that and putting that in our back pocket for later. That's when the rest of the world is like bearish, you're like, all right, baby, someone's going to turn to liquidity today. Who's it going to be? Right? Because we know, guys, at the end of the day, the market likes to entice people, right? Gives you a zone, can possibly push higher. And then you know what can happen? Boom. Okay, that was a nice push up. And if you were greedy, we're going to get you and we're going to go down for a little bit. Right? So let's go ahead and see what's happening. Consolidation, pushing to my zone. Market's going higher. Market's going higher. Let's see. Okay, cool. So if I'm looking at this, guys, let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Notice on this candle, my stop loss is right here because this is the lowest wick, or the starting point, right? And in this area specifically, my starting point has the lowest wick. Now, let's say I can't see it. I would like this one. A little bit looser stop loss, but it works. But if you're a vet and you can see it, this one right here is your stop loss. So how I would play this, again, if you're playing the 50%, you get missed. If you're waiting for this entry, you are missed. And you just missed a nice 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3 is right here. But for me, I'm in there like swimwear, baby. 1 to 1, I'm at break even. 1 to 2, I already took money off the playing field. 1 to 3, I'm already out the trade. So you tell me, guys, was this a good opportunity? Were you able to get some profit?
Yes, sir.
You were definitely able to catch a bag. And a 1 to 3, bro, you're up 3%. That's a good trade, right? That's a good trade. And at the end of the day, I know still, hey, we have to keep this in our back pocket. But if I'm continuing trend, look at what the market gave us. BOS, breakout rally right here. Follow that rally back down to the last selling candle. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last selling candle right here. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and adjust, move my zone. Right? My lowest wick in that area is the starting point again. So let's see if the market respects this starting point and continues higher. There's also a shoulder right here that I'm looking at. So let's just take a look. I don't know what it's going to respect. Okay, cool. So it looks like, is there a starting point here as well? That one's pretty iffy, but I can see someone taking that. Now let's continue. Oh, the market drops. Okay, that happens. But if you just took this trade, you're up, right? You're up 1 to 3. Let's say you take a loss. Okay, you're down 1, you're still up 2%. But now look, where is the market headed to, guys? To my entry down here. Now notice it came down very, very aggressive. So when I saw that, I didn't look to enter at all, right? Especially on Fridays. Usually Fridays are not the best trading days. So just keep that in mind. That's just what I've learned with my 3.5 years of trading. My experience, Fridays just don't work out well. Now, because it's in my zone, I know that it has, how do you set up shoulder setups? We'll keep that for Monday because it's already 9. Make sure you're on the Monday call, baby. And I have a lot of calls talking about that on YouTube. So make sure you tap into those over the weekend so you can be ready for Monday. But because the market gave me this setup, this is my stop loss, right? So I know at the end of the day, the market can push as low as it wants. But as long as it does not break and close below this red line, I can continue to look for buys. Now, once the market pushes up and goes my way, right there, gives me that change of character, I can now use this as an opportunity and shoot the market back up higher. Does that make sense? So what happened? Let's continue. Market goes a bit lower. Okay, cool. Let's drop down to the 15-minute. This setup looks just a bit too iffy for myself, but notice how we do push a bit lower. Let's go to the 5 so you guys can see it. Now, if we can actually hold this zone and the market can like ride up for Monday and just like chill and just continue to make some like trend line liquidity, I may look to play this and send the market higher. But do you guys see how we never push the market higher till here? Notice how we break structure. We break structure to the upside or to the downside, right? So my change of character line should be right here, guys. I'm not looking for buys until we break and close above that. I don't care. The market is coming down too fast. I'm not going to try to catch a falling knife. I don't even want a stupid loss in my trading book, right? So I'm going to wait for the market to go ahead, hit my zone, and I'm going to miss the first initial push up. This tells me I was correct. I want to be right first. I want to know I'm right before I enter more trades or before I even enter a trade. So once I get this, I will start to look for some buys and send the market where I want to send it, right? But let's take a look. Market gives me a new low, new BOS. BOS to the downside, BOS to the downside. Where should my change of character line be, guys? I need to move this line somewhere. I need to move that line somewhere. Where should I move it to? I will take a look at that after, Austin. Let's go, Juan. Let's go, baby. My change of character line needs to be right here. Because if we're going to change character, right? Market's already in my zone. We have lower low, lower high. Market gives me a low. Now I want to see the market push up, push, 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 push. Tell me I'm right so we can go ahead and start looking for more buys. But we have to wait. Let's continue. Market pushes lower. Okay, so it's not ready. Now, Fernando, this goes to the perfect question. Are you entering at the 50? No, because look at what's going down. If it's not ready to go higher, I'm not going to continue. I'm not going to continue to enter as the market is going lower. For me, that makes no sense. I would rather enter as the market continues to go higher, right? So now check me out. Lower low, lower high, lower low. If the market is going to change character, I need for the market to break and close above this black line to tell me I'm right, and we can now start looking for some buy opportunities. But we haven't gotten that yet, guys. It's very important that we wait for our confirmations. Market's heading higher. It could be the one. Okay, nope. We push a bit lower. Let's see. Is this where it ends? Okay. Our very last bearish break of structure before the change of character. And then what happens? We start to consolidate for a little bit. So I do see an opportunity here. We may have an opportunity. Now, for me, it just doesn't look ready enough. So just take that with a grain of salt. I will not be taking this opportunity, especially on a Sunday. I'm gonna wait for some good confirmation. I usually don't trade lower time frame on anything but indices. So yeah, just take that with a grain of salt. I tested that area. Great. I'm glad. If you're a veteran and you know what testing is, test that area. But it came down too quick for me. I was like, you know what? I'm good off that. I'm already swimming in AU. I'm good. I do not need that. I mean, you know, those are just questions we have to ask ourselves, Swan. You know what I mean, bro? You've been in long enough to have these personal conversations with yourself. Is this trade worth it? Am I in profit for the week? Is this trade going to possibly hurt me for my week? You know, is it going to take some of my profits? Should I be more conservative with my trading since I'm already up? All these questions you're going to have to ask yourself, bro. And all of you guys too. All of you guys are going to come to a point where you guys are going to have to ask yourself these tough questions. And when you ask yourself these questions, you're like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to hop in then. I ain't tripping. You know, there is still more maturing that we have to do, you know, because you should always be tripping when it comes to your with your capital, guys. We do not want to just like, hey, you get $1. You get $1. You get $1. Like, that's not what we want to do with our trading account, right? We have to start getting picky with our setups, start waiting for good opportunities, and start having these tough questions and conversations with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how we get better. Even if you're like, you know what, it doesn't look ready, I'm not going to take it. And then this happens right here. Market comes into my zone and then just flies and then you miss it. Hey, that may happen. That may happen. But you cannot beat yourself up for being more mature in the market. You can't. I just, you can't. I don't think you should beat yourself up for wanting to be better. I do see, let me see, super microcomputer. We could take a look at this and then we'll get out of here. SMC1. What was it? I? All right. 4 hours. Let's go to the daily real quick. All right. So it looks like it's, let me see. Looks like it's starting to head a little bit bearish, right? Where obviously we can see on the monthly time frame, we have a starting point right here. Market came down, obviously violated it, hit stop loss, but it's holding up. Now let's drop down. Now this is the thing. If this is my very last break of structure to the downside on the weekly time frame, bearish BOS, my change of character is here. Now notice, let me see. This is my breakout rally, right? Breakout rally. My selling starting point is actually right here, and we can see that that actually gave us an opportunity. The market did come back in and send the market back down. So that opportunity was definitely taken. But let's drop down to a lower time frame, right? Let's take a look. Go to the daily. So the structure isn't as great with this, but that's okay, right? This is what I'm seeing. The market gave me a low here, and we sweep that. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Market changes character in that area, right? So let's just go ahead and mark this up. Now, it looks like we have a starting point right here for this bullish move, but nonetheless, because it looks ugly, I'm just going to keep it like this. Or let's go up a couple of days. Let's see if the market structure changes if I go up to like the 2-day or 3-day. Okay, we'll keep it like that. It's 2 days. But we'll keep this setup right here. Now take a look. I'm looking for buys down here, but at the same time, this is obviously a counter trend. Why? Because the market is continuing down. The market is continuing down, right? So let's go ahead as we drop down to the, let's go back to the daily. If I'm looking to continue trend, I would be looking to take setups right here. Why? We already know that market's looking for sells. This was my monthly starting point. And then we can see when the market came back, this is what we got. Bullish BOS with my change of character to the downside. So I would be looking to taking opportunities right here. Right? My stop loss at this high, and we can see that the market is obviously disrespecting at the moment. Now, that's okay. It happens, right? But if the market continues up and we break and close above this monthly starting point, or this monthly setup, we're definitely looking for some more buys, and we're shifting this thing back up higher. Right? Now, the thing is, if we get that, if the market continues up, let's just delete this for visual purposes. If the market continues to push, right? Let's just make a candle real quick. Right? If the market continues to push and we get that change of character, I would like to go to a higher time frame. Let's go to the monthly or the weekly. So this works even better with the weekly. Right? If we can get something that looks like this, right? If we can get something that looks like this, guys, where is my buying starting point? Obviously, that this selling starting point is not, it wasn't respected. But if this is my breakout rally right here, where's my starting point at? Let's go. Let's go. All day, family. All day. Nothing changes. Structure could look a little bit funky on some of these things. Hey, but nothing changes, right? Now, once the market wants to come back inside this area, I will look to see if we can go ahead and continue with some long-term buys, right? That looks pretty good. But I want to make sure we break and close above this high first. Because if we're continuing down, guys, right? If we're continuing down, the market can go as high as it wants. It could mess with our emotions. It could pick our pockets if we're too aggressive, right? Boom, hit our stop loss. But as long as it doesn't break and close above, it can still go down and continue with that bearish trend. So it's super important that we wait for real good confirmations or market structure that looks super good that we're like, you know what? I might just go with this reversal and look for the buys before we get the buys. you know, and if you get clapped trying to be aggressive, trying to catch these buys before we get this confirmation, well, now you know why you lost, because the market was enticing you. It's saying, hey, look at these buys right here. Hey, JV, look at these buys. Hey, Austin, there's buys right here. There's buys. Don't worry about the change of character. We don't need it, bro. It's all good. You know, it's all good. You'll catch the change of direction. It's okay. We don't have the change of direction, but look, hey, we can catch it. We can catch it together. You want to catch it together? And when that happens, guys, you know that the market was enticing you and it wanted you to take this opportunity so you can be the liquidity and they can shift the market back down. I hope that makes sense. EURCAD, let's go to the 4 hour. Dang, Austin, where were you? Where were you when we're going through everything, bro? You woke up, huh? Now you're sending everything. I love it though. Yep, I got you, T. What are you on? You're on the 1 hour? I'm on the daily. I like this a lot better, to be honest. I'm waiting very, very patiently. You can see I have no alerts here, and I have my only alert right here. So I'm waiting very, very patiently. With some pairs, it just takes fucking forever, right? I mean, this is technically happened right here, but just takes forever, right? So as we drop down to the daily time frame, what's going down? Okay, cool. What happened, guys? God, EURCAD just has great structure, but it takes forever. Notice how we have a BOS at the downside. BOS at the downside. We get this bullish change of character. Check me out. Look at this guy. This is a perfect example of risk to reward. My breakout rally, my starting point is right here. My shoulder is right here. Now, this is the daily time frame. If we go to the 4 hour, my shoulder is down here now. Well, that's the 2 hour. It's okay. So look, take a look, guys. Did this starting point give you some profits? Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? Yes or no? Did this starting point give you profit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right now, it gave you a 1 to 2. You should have broke even and taken partials. 1 to 3 is here, but minimum, you should have taken half of your profit into your off the trading account, off the playing field, and into your trading account. Now, when the market wants to hit you with that, gotcha, you just broke even, right? You just broke even. And where did it go? To your original entry that you wanted. So if I'm looking at this, it literally just gave me a setup. And that's just like, sometimes, guys, you have to start looking at things a bit differently and not get so mad that you took a loss. Sometimes it's giving you the structure you need. It gives you the entry on your starting point, puts you in profit, allows you to at least take partials, hits your break even, touches your right shoulder, and then goes your way. But what did it just give you, guys? What did it just give you?
End of direction.
Change of direction, gave you a brand new setup. Brand new setup. So this trade was a winner. This trade was a winner. Now we're on a new trade. Check me out. My starting point right here. My right shoulder right here. Boom. My stop loss right here. So market's in my zone. It actually gave you profit. This was Friday. Last Friday, it entered you. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you've been in profit off this right shoulder. Let's drop down to the daily, or 4 hour. Now, for me, if I'm looking to be a bit aggressive, let me see where your chart is. If I'm looking to be a bit aggressive, I would play this spot right here because of the lower time frame structure that I'm seeing. But on the 4-hour, Austin, if this is my dominant low right here, this is my dominant low, where is my previous break of structure to the downside? Anybody can answer. Who wants to draw my chart? If this is my dominant low, where's my previous BOS? Thank you, Jennifer. Let's go. This is my BOS. Thank you, Nova. My change of character would be right here. Right? Let's even go to the 4-hour daily. Okay. Yeah. So notice, market's giving me a right shoulder, just went a little bit deep. Now this market structure is a bit funky, right? It is what it is. But if we drop down lower, what do we have right here? Liquidity sweep. Change of direction happened right here. Bro, it's literally giving you your setup. BOS. Starting point. Left shoulder. We could look to play some of that. Now, I'm not liking this. I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm not liking that at all. But because we already continued in this area, I would like to continue higher. But at the same time, guys, when you're zoomed in like this, you do not see much, right? But when you're on the 4-hour, when you're on the 1 hour, you ain't seeing much. I got to be real with you guys, right? But when you go up to the daily time frame and you zoom out just a little bit, and you zoom out, maybe you have to go on a bit higher time frame. What can you see is actually happening in this area right here? What do you guys see? What do you guys see, guys? Yes, liquidity is being built up, right? So just be careful, right? You know, I don't really like these equal lows here, but it is giving me continuationness, right? Some bullishness in this area. The structure is telling me also, right? The structure is giving me a little bit of bullishness structure also. So I got to trust the market is giving me, right? But yeah, guys, some pairs you just have, I mean, you should be looking on every pair. You should look at higher time frame, but do not get sucked in on one time frame, guys, because this is all you see. You have to look at the bigger picture. And I haven't traded EURCAD in like months, bro. Yeah, in months. I'm personally waiting for this area. There's a reason, guys. There's a reason why the market is still hanging out right here, right? There's fresh money down here. They are not going to leave without picking that up, right? And again, trust me, it does moves. It'll make moves. It'll make moves. But it's also going to build more liquidity. Wait for that next one, and then possibly continue higher with another move, and then probably build more liquidity. So take that with a grain of salt, guys. Austin, I hope that made sense, bro. Do we have any questions before we end our night? 9:25. Ooh, y'all got a little bit of extra treat tonight because it's Valentine's Day. Y'all know I love you for real, for real. You feel me? You feel me? Any questions, guys? JV, Monday, bro. We're gonna go over basics. So make sure you tap in, bro. Have all your questions. Anybody who has any type of questions, anything. You know what? And for the danger zone, we're gonna cover that too, guys. We're gonna cover that too. So, all right. I appreciate you guys. Let me see. For the 25 of y'all that stayed on, we single as fuck, bro. But I appreciate you guys for hopping on and staying consistent for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend. Make sure you guys study, right? do your back testing. Hop on Neary's call, the crypto calls tomorrow. Guys, if you guys are not plugged in with crypto, I'm telling you guys right now, the next 5 years for you guys, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. You guys are gonna see a lot of your peers winning, and I want you guys to win with us. You know, everybody's waiting for big moves in crypto right now, and there are some cryptos in really good positions so where you guys can start throwing a little bit of money in. You know, no one says you have to throw a couple thousand, but 20 here, 20 there goes a long way. Will go a long way. Stack as much as you can, guys, because trust me, like I'm on Kurt and Mike sessions, and they're like, man, I bet you wish you threw in more. And like I've been in some pumps, and I've always felt like I should have thrown in more, right? And if you're not throwing in anything, and you're seeing your peers win, man, it's not a good feeling. It's just not. So whatever you guys can, I know finances could be a little tight, but whatever you guys can, it'll be worth it in the end for your future, for sure, right? So I will see you guys on Monday. Make sure y'all do your studying, back test, and I will see you guys on the basic call on Monday. Let's get it. Appreciate you guys. Happy Valentine's Day.